on a day when they may have played their worst football of the year, won the game anyway.
A big win for the Dallas Cowboys, and joining us now to talk about that and so much more is the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, Mr. Tony Romo. And Tony, first of all, welcome. Thanks for taking a little time to be with us. And we had a great opening shot of you out there with your wife, Candace, and little Hawkins before the game. Must be a whole different perspective for you coming on the field.
Yeah, I definitely probably didn't envision that about 4 or 5 years ago. But it's exciting and it's awesome, and it's such a great feeling to kind of just have them there and seeing Hawk just kind of play with the ball. It's a great feeling for a dad.
Chris Collinsworth, right before you came and sat down, we were talking, and it was coming out of him how jealous he is of you, because you can do two things that he can't do. You can throw the football, which he can't, and you can play golf, which he can't. So I just want to throw it. What do you think about those two prospects for Chris?
Well, I'm not entirely sure those are accurate. I mean, Chris, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't Chris hold the record for the longest touchdown pass in Cowboys history?
That's awful.
I mean,
you got props.
So,
Somebody was prepping you.
He might even have a leg.
There you go. Unfortunately, Tony did see me on the driving range one day, though. That's the unfortunate. He did see me hit a golf ball once.
He's definitely better at throwing the football than he is swinging.
Wow.
The golf club.
Well, that's a shot. What do you do when you hear people, commentators like us or fans or whatever, and the Cowboys, oh, Tony, they got to win the big game, and that kind of process. What do you think about that? Do you hear it?
Phil, you're ultimately judged by winning, and I really wouldn't want it any other way. Granted, we haven't won a championship yet, but I'll tell you, I wouldn't want it to be judged by other things, because I put that much emphasis and onus on that specific goal, and it's a great rewarding thing to have if you're able to accomplish that, and it's what makes you wake up and work your butt off and keep going after it over and over and over again. And I just don't think it would be as special if it was just so easy, or if it didn't require some sacrifice and some just struggle and all those things that go with it. I think that's a beautiful thing if you're able to reach that pinnacle, and I look forward to that, and that's part of the reason why I just do everything you possibly can in your career to make that happen.
You do a great job of answering questions, of being politically correct. Do you ever go home at night after watching a television show or reading a newspaper article and put your head in a pillow and scream out all the things you'd really like to say, the things that are being said about you or the Cowboys team?
It's actually a great question. I do think that, another non-politically but politically correct answer coming here is basically that when I was younger, I used to say the kind of that same feeling that you happened would be when, let's say you like this girl in college right when you first got there, and I can remember, or high school or whenever it was, and it didn't work out. She liked some other guy, and and so you're just like, what happened, in this whole process, and then you're just upset, and you're like, I can't wait to one day, to walk in with my wife or girlfriend one day and just, come up and show her and be like, hey, good to see you. Yeah, this is my wife right here. Okay.
How do you like me now, baby?
And then you just keep walking by kind of feeling. Yeah. But invariably what I found, though, is that when you actually get that great wife, that I was lucky enough to find everything, you really don't care to go back and kind of show her off, because you invariably kind of won. If that makes sense. You don't need to kick people in any way. And it just, when you get there, you don't really care too much about what everybody said along the way and everything. It's a great thing to go out and do it and enjoy that process and go just do it. So that's kind of the way I look at it.
Now, I did notice something you did in the game that my man Chris Collinsworth is great at. When you do that little foot wedge on the field, when you kick the football forward. See, he does that a lot when I play golf with him. You got to keep your eyes on my man over here. He's got the great foot wedge.
Admitted.
Yeah, he's the guy who he takes off in his cart and his ball's over in the woods, and all of a sudden he's got 12 feet for birdie before you know what happened.
Yeah, there you go. Good analogy.
I had a great lie. Everything was great.
I never did it with a football, though.
Yeah, that was you get the ball on the 20-yard line, you need to get to that 30-yard line, and you have that little inch. I thought they gave us a bad spot on it. I don't know if you guys saw, but he really had the first down if you look at it closely. So I was just trying to help the ref because he didn't see it clearly, and so I was trying to show him this is exactly where it was. So just a little miscommunication, really.
Hey, one final question on Dez. Here's a guy that, admittedly, as talented as anybody in football. We saw the week before, and he was mic'd up on the sideline or whatever. We could hear all the comments. So enthusiastic, and it sounded like he was screaming at you and causing a scene, and it ended up being really nothing but positive comments. Follows it up the next week. He took his helmet off, whatever. He didn't know the rule, whatever the case may be. But is he a guy that if you could control and channel that energy into nothing but positive all the time, it could help your huddle? Is there still a way to sort of form him into the guy that could be that great all-pro year after year?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that he's not that guy. That's the only thing, is that he actually is having a good season. He had a great season last year. If he has 2 big games here, the next 4 games, he's going to push himself right to the next level, I guess you could say. And I just think that harnessing that energy, that passion, and utilizing it in the right manner is always a good thing. But sometimes, that mental makeup is what allows him to compete and care and come to work every day and get better and want to be the best. And I don't know that you want to rid him of that. So I think you do want to make it go into the right directions. And I think he's done that, though. I mean, he's gotten much better, over the course of his career. And 16 games, there's going to be stuff that comes up. I'm not immune to that. It's just part of the great challenges each week and the great competitors that play in the National Football League. Stuff's going to happen. It's going to be to talk about on Monday, and it's going to be blown out. It's going to be this, that, and then next week you go back and you play well. It's kind of forgotten. You move right on to the next game, and that's the reality of the world we live in.
Beautiful.
Tony, we appreciate your being with us. We would like to know the name of that girl in college so we can slam her for you here on Inside the NFL. Just give us a first name. That's all we really need.
But wouldn't it go against what I just said, in that you don't need to or want to slam her? But her name is. No, just kidding.
There you go. Well, Tony, as
Thanks,
always,
Tony.
great fun. Best of luck this week.